Hi, this is Vivian, and I am the author of The Silent Christian and Its Impact on a Nation. And on this chapter, we talk about what happens when Christians or good folks are silent. What does that mean? It means that their voices cannot be heard and their actions cannot be seen. So, just as promised, today we're going to talk about that thing called love. Love. And John 13:34 through 35 in layman's terms say that we ought to love each other like he loved us. And everybody will know that we are his disciples if we love one another in that same manner. So that's just my little interpretation, but you can go and check it out for yourself. But Jesus was telling his disciples that they need to love one another, and that is how they will be identified as one of his disciples. So, what do we find out? What is love? Tina Turner, God bless her soul, I loved her. She was an icon. But she asked the question, what does love have to do with it? And I'll give you the answer. It has everything to do with it. And she knew that too, but she was making another point. Nevertheless, First Corinthians, the 13th chapter, give us a very clear and detailed description of what love is and what it is not. And it tells us that love is patient. That means if we're impatient with people, we can't wait. We got to hurry up and get this done. We're not being patient. And somebody said that patience was a virtue. I'm just saying. The other thing is said that it's kind, it's nice. It's nothing like walking up on a person with a sunny disposition that's ready to talk to you. They're nice, they're courteous, they're gracious. That's what love is. Love is kind. It's not envious or jealous. I'm not mad at you because you got more than I got, or your hair is longer than mine, or your hair is shorter than mine, or, you're slimmer than I am, you know, not jealous nor envious. And my camera is moving. Love is not boastful. It doesn't brag all the time. It doesn't talk about I got this and you don't have that and ooh, you riding in a hoopty. I mean, just craziness. Um, it doesn't dishonor others. It's not out there to shame anyone or make anyone feel bad or to discredit them or humiliate them. Like bullying, that's a definite definition of what dishonoring others is. It's not selfish. It always thinks about somebody else over top of themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just being nice to somebody. I have two hot dogs. I can give you one. I'm not going to die if I only eat one hot dog. That's a bad example, but it's an example nevertheless. It's not easily angered. It doesn't fly off in a fit of rage or anger. It reminds me of road rage. Um, or somebody always pushing you and prodding you. One of my things that I do when somebody starts getting on my nerves is I'm like, okay, well, I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll check you later. And I just remove myself from the situation. Um, Love doesn't keep a record of wrongs. We're in the midst of political season right now. And so we're getting a full on blast of commercials, infomercials, telling us what this candidate did way back when and that candidate did way back then. And we always bringing up the wrongdoings of other people. Love, that's not love. It's not love. Keeping a track of people's wrong. And I'll tell you what, I ain't got time to try to remember how many times you've got on my nerves or you did me wrong or you had taken something from me. I just remove myself from that situation so I'm not a target of your abuse all the time. Um, 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter says it does not delight in evil. Like, oops, I guess they got what they deserved. You know, um, we're not trying to get excited because somebody experiences some misfortune, because the truth of the matter, all of us have sinned and come short of the glory of God. All of us have. We've made mistakes, we've made wrong decisions. We don't want nobody flashing our past. We ought not to flash somebody else's past. And we ought not to get excited about it either. And it tells us that um, it rejoices in the truth. And you'll have to go ahead on and take the time with your family. Maybe y'all could sit down and read this chapter together and talk about all the different things that it says that love is and love is not. And that could be a way that you can begin to incorporate the various components or characteristics of a loving person into your life. And it'll also give you some family time. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I used to miss. We always, growing up, would sit down and have dinner together and have conversations together. And I don't believe many people um, do that anymore. Nevertheless, if we could learn how to show more love towards others in our day-to-day interactions, I'm sure it could calm down some angry souls. You know, I remember my parents always talking about, you shouldn't hang with this person because they're not a good influence, or hang with that person, because they're bad. But the reality is, why is the bad person having so much power? Why can't we, as the loving people that God created us to be, why can't we change the flow and the pace of everything? After all, we are supposed to be the movers and shakers in this world. We're the ones, as Christians, as believers in God, as people who have labeled ourselves as good people, we're supposed to be the ones that show people how it should be done, how this thing called love should be played out. That's our job. It's the church's job, it's Christians' job, and it's those people who call themselves good folks. It's their job as well. So there was a song that was written 1960, in the 60s. It was called What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. That's the only thing, that there's just too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, not not only just for one, but for everyone, or something to that effect. But it was written in 1965 by Burt Bacharach. And I think about that. Here we are 53 years later, and we are still lacking in that one area, learning how to love one another. Whether they're black, they're white, no matter what nationality they are, no matter how old or how young they are, how rich or how poor, just to love everybody. Because at the end of the day, all of us are human. We're all human beings, and we all need love. And at the end of that 1 Corinthians 13th chapter, it said three things remain: faith, hope, and love, or charity. But the greatest of those is love. And that's what we need to do: learn how to love one another. So, once again, I tell you to get back up with us on Tuesdays or Thursdays. Make sure you like. Please hit the subscribe button and comment. What are ways that you show love? Or how do you teach your children to show love? Or how do you show love to your fellow neighbor, or your friend, or somebody you meet on the road? How do you show love? I will give you one more scripture. 1 Peter 4:8 says, "And above all things, have fervent love for one another, for love covers a multitude of sins." I'm going to see you all next episode. Be here or be square. Be there or be square. Okay, I can't be a rapper. Um, but I might be a poet. But just be here We'll see you at the next episode when we're going to talk a little bit about forgiveness. Okay? Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Vivian. I am the author of The Silent Christian and its Impact on a Nation. And I'll put the information in the comments if you're interested in purchasing a book from me. And I'll see you next time. And come on, make the commitment that you'll be a silent Christian no more. Have an awesome day, and may God bless you.